trust you are well. This morning, I want to share a very quiet word, and the title of it is very straightforward and simple. Do your thing. Don't worry too much about observers. Don't focus on accolades. Don't wait for the claps before you do your thing, because the claps, they are always delayed. Sometimes they don't even come. But do your thing. What motivated me to put this across, Ketri, is yesterday at my club we had our annual awards. It's the end of the year for club executives, so we were changing executives, and usually when we come to the end of year awards, we award members. Last year I got Toastmaster of the Year, and it surprised me. It really did. I did not know that such an award existed. I did not. I was not expecting to win it. Peter, Diana, and Gayla, I did not expect to win it. I did not know that the award even existed. What I knew was that I had come to this organization. Yeah, Daniel, I had come to this organization. I saw an opportunity to engage and to grow, and I just took that opportunity. Whenever there was a chance for me to speak, I spoke. Whenever we had club roles, I went to every single meeting, did not miss one. When I went to every single meeting, I took on a role. I was active, but that was me being me and doing me. At the end of the year, they gave me the Member of the Year award with a lovely citation and a plaque with the organization's branding, which sits in a box on my current desk. But in my next life, in the next step that I see myself, where I have a beautiful office, because I will set up a beautiful office for myself, I will put some of these awards on shelves or in a trophy cabinet for myself. And yeah, when people come into my office, these things will be sitting there to tell the story of me and how I engage with fidelity and so on. That was last year. This year, it was my chance as a member of the executive. I was the VP Education, and it was my chance to award some of our members. And the awards that I recommended were the awards that picked up the unsung heroes, because that's my thing. I know that the unsung heroes don't get recognized. I know that it is the reason why many people don't do what the unsung heroes do. I think that people's hymn sheets need to be sung. So I looked for the unsung heroes. I wrote a few citations, and there were a couple that I actually presented, and they were to members. But it wasn't just those two. There were other people who were giving awards, and when the award was read and the name was read out, the recipient went the recipients had tears in their eyes, because hello, hi Melanin, they were not expecting accolades. They just did what they did. They were excellent in their quiet moments. One of them sent me a message this morning and says, you know, I feel so seen. I feel so heard. Well, in order to be seen, you've got to be visible. In order to be heard, you've got to be audible. You've got to do what you've got to do when nobody is watching. That is how he who watches will find you doing excellence. And that's what my message is for you. Do whatever it is you do. Just continue to do you. Identify what is you and your style. Yeah, it is one of the things that I take to my practice. I teach every lesson exactly the way I would want it to be taught if it was an observation. And I do not change my observed lessons just because somebody is coming. The kids in my classroom will tell you, when somebody comes to observe, we do exactly as we do. Sometimes when we know, especially with inspections, the children will ask me, Miss, how should we? I'm like, shh. Don't change a thing. Do everything exactly the way you have always done, and it will be well. It will be fine. When they ask you questions, answer them the way you do. No, don't put on any ceremony. And yeah, my observers always tell me that I don't take the opportunities to spotlight and showcase. I don't. I live the daily the way I want to be caught. And so on the day I am caught, you will see the daily. No extras, no razzmatazz, just. And I have worked with many teachers, and I have taught them this simple principle. It is the thing that many people come back to me. Once I have mentored them for a while, they'll tell me is one of the things that they are very grateful for. Have a structure to your lesson and plan every single lesson the same way. The way you would do your assessments when nobody is there should be the style you would do your assessments when somebody comes. The way you interact with the students should be exactly the way you would interact with them if somebody was watching. And then you just have your regular, your standard, your typical, and you stick to it. Patricia, good morning. It is what I'm recommending to you as well. Do life as if somebody is watching you daily, even when nobody's watching. You don't set that standard just for the sake of the audience. No, you set that standard, and that becomes your standard of engagement. Whenever somebody comes to find you, they should find you being excellent, because excellence is your thing. You make excellence your benchmark, and you do everything according to excellence. And people, when they have seen you, the funny thing is, when you don't think people look, they do. When you don't expect that people will see, they do. And because they see you when you don't expect to be seen, they know that that is authentic you. See, they're random people like me. That's how we want to see people. I don't care what you put on when I'm coming. Don't care. When I have managed departments, I make my opinions of people, not of the formal observations when I go in and you are busy jumping up and down. No. I form my opinions of people when I walk down your corridor. There are some people, you will go down their classroom every single time and they are at the door to welcome children. That's my style. I'm at the door. Especially with children who need support with regulation. I'll be at the door. I will correct their uniforms. I will smile, a welcome. I will have a quiet word. Now for me, that is my hallmark of an effective teacher. So I watch people at their doors daily. I watch how your interaction is when I am walking down the corridor. I like to have a sneak peek of your practice on the daily, so that when I come to observe, I do so to confirm. I went to see somebody once, and the person had put on a show. Children don't do show, you know. Children do not know how to put on a show. They certainly don't know how to fake. Children. So this person has never done some of these techniques before, but it was an observation, right? So they put on a phenomenal show. I walk in and the children say, "Hey, miss, how do we get on this game?" Oops. If the children have played this game before, they will know. Miss, how do you do this? And they were not being naughty. They just didn't know what to do. So obviously they are confused. They are thrown off. They are asking questions. They are excited. So they do the unexpected. Teacher is busy having a cardiac arrest. Comforter, how are you doing? We come to the feedback, and I said to the person, is it fair to say that you had done things in this lesson that you have never done before? You could see how scared she was. Like, let's be frank and honest here. Eureka. Is it fair to say that the children were spooked because you put on a performance? Well, that's how children are. They will spook. And that's why a performance is never a good thing when somebody is coming. It's too much work. If you go into a place and you see a master at work, it is effortless. Effortless. Yesterday, I wasn't at work. So a colleague of mine was covering my class. And the person says, come and get your children. They are too chatty. They are too noisy. They are too naughty. And I smiled. Because this same class, this very colleague and a few people have seen this class. And they've told me how well behaved they are. How engaged they are. Well, who? And when I wasn't there, these same beautiful kids were bouncing off the walls. Why? It is because my structures are effortless. My routines are so practiced, so rehearsed, that you will not know the regulation that has happened in the background and has become second nature. That's what I want to share with you today. You want excellence to be second nature. Oh, Melanin, God bless you. I will be a dangerous psychologist. I will be a dangerous psychologist. Listen, excellence should be your routine. It should be rehearsed. It should be refined. It should be polished so that it becomes effortless. Effortless. That you do it without thinking. Who do? Hello, darling. You should do it without thinking. It should be so well oiled that the untrained eye watching will think that it's easy. Yeah. Somebody came to observe my lesson recently, and the entire lesson I did not move from my desk. Those who have the old view certainly will complain. And so this person will say, hey, you did not get up from your desk. Engagement. And I'm like, wait. Did you see that I have a discussion board on the board? Yeah. Did you see that every single child was commenting on the discussion board? And that I was sat at my desk engaging and reacting and responding? Well, yeah. But you know, you've got to move around the room to keep the children on task. So I asked the person, was a single kid in my class off task? And the person says, well, that's the funny thing. No, they were not off task. I'm like, well, did you consider why they were not off task and why I was not policing the room? Well, my kids and I are in routine. They know what is expected. They know how to behave. And I have trained them so well that I am very comfortable. We don't need policing. They do it by default. And so no, policing is not necessary. Teaching is what I do. Because we have got the rest under control. Yeah, no need for policing. Yeah. When you have actually worked at excellence and you've got your routines. Hey, Sister Lorna. It's so good to catch you live. How you doing, sis? Hi, Glennis. Yeah. When excellence is rehearsed, it becomes second nature. Hi, Mona. It becomes routinized. It becomes effortless. And that's what mastery is. When a person masters something, when you are at mastery, your performance is fluid. It is effortless. It is superb. But superb comes without you singing and dancing. And that's the thing that fools a lot of people when they see masters and mistresses at their game. When a person sees a master at their game, they see fluidity and they see ease. I have seen in my career in the middle of a year when somebody had decided that my classes were all easy and so had gone to complain to the powers that be, and the powers that be had decided to move classes and swap classes. And yes, what was told to me was that they were trying to maintain fairness and that the exertion was not the same. And yeah, I had been given an easy ride by accident, and they were evening things out. So I'm like, okay. So they took the classes off me and they gave it to this person because this class was easy. Pedita, yeah, Osman. 2 weeks later, she was back here screaming and shouting. See, the naughty children are children who are not used to structure. And so good teachers establish routines and structure very quickly with those children. If you are successful in establishing routines and structure, they get into those structures and routines. They know how to behave, they know how to predict, and they are settled. Such children do not like disorder. They don't. So here this idiot is, having waited for me to set order in my class, thinking that that order is a permanent arrangement and that she can jump on board and have this order for herself. Well, when the structures and routines were taken, the children went wild. The class that she said was wild and didn't want and was given to me, within the same 3-week period, those kids were beaten into line. So funny people that people can be, runs right back and goes to whoever they run to and said that she wanted to come and see me with the monkeys they gave me. See, proper young. She was expecting that the monkeys they took off her to give me would be bouncing off the walls. So she comes and the monkeys were sad. The monkeys were doing a chemical experiment. The monkeys were working with acids. This class had never been allowed to do practicals by nobody because of their poor behavior. Well, they were in my class. They were working with acids. They all had their goggles on. The routines were very clear. People's names were on the board. And when I went to the board, people corrected themselves. No shouting. No nothing. They know that when the goggles come off, you go on my sanctions board. And when I approached the sanctions board, people corrected their behaviors. And I gave people a second chance. After a while, when the behaviors had been maintained, I walked back to the sanctions board and I would wipe their names off it, and you would see the relief on faces. After we finish this, she goes back and she reports to whoever, and the person approaches me eventually to say that a member of staff is requesting mentorship with classroom management. I'm like, okay, who's requesting it? Well, this person is requesting. I'm like, the very person who came crying to you and moaning to you. I'm tired of hearing this person's name this year around things that haven't been made to concern me. And she's like, oh no, listen, no. To be honest, this time she comes in acknowledgement and she says, well, she's figured out it's not the classes that were easy, it's your structures. So she wants to learn the structures because this class, she had them and she knew what the kids were like. And so to come here after such a short period to see the kids settle, rah ya you, and this is what I mean. I did not know that my practice was being observed. My practice was being evaluated. You don't know when your evaluator will come calling. You don't know when your assessor will come looking. You don't know when the person whose eye you need to catch will focus their attention in your direction. And for that reason, you live every day in readiness to catch their eye every single day. You should be ready. I've been sitting in my classroom minding my business, and a manager will walk in on a learning walk or on a whatever. Don't care. When they walk in, the children will tell you, I work from the wire to the wire. I don't even give them a second to breathe. The children complain about that all the time. Miss, can we sit here quiet? No. Because it is my job to use curriculum time for curriculum, so we would be doing curriculum. It does not matter. When somebody walks into my class, whenever they do walk into my class, they should come and see me doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing with you. But miss, nobody will know. Doesn't matter. I will know. I'd say to the kids, I would know. And they will laugh about it. Yeah, but that's the mindset around doing things in excellence. Yeah, hi Sandra and Michelle. Doing things in excellence, making excellence the routine. Not just for performance days, no, for days when people are not looking. And if you were to be convinced to try out excellence on the daily, to routinize excellence, to make it your framework, so that every time you do this thing, or the way you live and everything about you becomes of excellence, the advantage you will see is that excellence becomes fluid. It becomes effortless. Practice excellence will get you to mastery. Yeah? Mamiri, how you doing? And Georgina. It will become routinized. It will become your thing. And you don't need to break a sweat to get there. You don't need to sweat it. It will just happen. And because you don't need to sweat it and it just happens, those who watch you will think it's easy. That's the thing. If you've ever seen a master craftsman working, you go and the people who impress me the most are the artists. I don't have that gift with paintbrushes and with coloring pencils and with whatever that other people have. And so when I see people with their pencils and brushes and they stroke without thinking, I look at these people, I'm like, hey, they make it look so easy. Give me a paintbrush and you have a disaster. I am unskilled. I don't have the frameworks. And so I overthink everything. And in overthinking everything, oh, I am so prone to mistakes. Yeah. I was asking the art teacher in my school, so where do you start? And she said, well, you start from wherever you start from and you just figure it out until you get what you want. Like, okay. How do we know where we start from? I don't know where we start from. And I don't know how we figure it out. Yeah. When you have practiced, when you've got into routine, when your schemas are established and consolidated, you don't think, it just happens. And it is beautiful to watch when you get somebody or you get yourself to that point. It's beautiful to watch. Oh my God, good morning. It is my recommendation. Michelle, instead of you doing meh and putting on random performances on performance days, my recommendation is that you make every day a dress rehearsal. I recommend that you let every day be practice for you. I suggest that every single day you act the way you want to be caught. You act the way you want to be caught. That you do things with a smile on your face. So one of the ones that we awarded yesterday was the high impact entrant. This person is new, but this person is so new and has jumped straight into our club and the makings of our club. We went to our annual conference. She's new, but she jumped in and she came to the conference. She organized to come to conference, and she came to conference with her little sister in tow, because they are Muslim girls, so they can't travel on their own without a chaperone. So the two of them came as each other's chaperones. She came with her little sister. This is a new member. This person has no obligation to nobody. It is not required of her to do nothing. We went to a celebratory lunch because one of our members had won multiple awards. And for me, as a club executive, it was my responsibility. I know fair. One. It was my responsibility as a club executive to make my member feel good, to celebrate my member. So organizing and everything else around this dinner was my job. It was my responsibility. I wanted to do it, and I should do it. We went to dinner, and she's Jordanian. We were in Jordan. I'd never been to Jordan, didn't know anything about Jordan, but she had jumped straight in. She was recommending a restaurant. We went down to this restaurant. We walked and we talked, and she introduced, and I was watching this girl thinking, that's a leader. That's a leader. She has no title. She has no accolades yet, but she is acting it. That is a leader. It was somebody's birthday, and then we were celebrating this champion. I was whacking my brain. What do I do? What do I do? Within a few minutes of sitting down, the cakes were out. She had organized the cakes. The cakes were out. We were celebrating. And I watched this girl and how she was engaging with a group that she doesn't know well yet. She is an Arabic girl. She's come from an Arabic club. We are an English club. And my club is not just a typical English club. It's quite multicultural. Quite multicultural. But we are a very close-knit group. We are friends and family. So normally when you go into a place where people are so close-knit, it is easy for you to find yourself on the periphery. Most people will stay on the outside and just, not her. She jumped right in. And that's what I recognize. That's one of the things that I wanted to spotlight. That's the reason why I wanted her to get the award we gave her. And when I called her name, you could have seen, I wish you could see the shock on her face. Yeah. The reason why she had the shock on her face is because this was not something she was doing for anybody's benefit. No. This is just how she is. This is how she does things. This is her norm. This is her routine. It was not for anybody to see. But you see, the nosy little witch that I am saw. And the minute I flagged it up, everybody else agreed. Everybody else agreed. And as I read her citation yesterday, everybody in the club was nodding. They were all nodding in agreement. They had seen what I had seen because it was there, visible for anybody to see. Excellence does not hide. Mastery cannot be concealed. It will be seen at the right time by the right person. Just make sure that when the person looks, that it's available to be seen. Elila, how are you doing? That is the gospel according to the Lord preached today by yours truly. It is one of the things that I have learned about life. It's one of the things that I try to live by in this life. And when I am successful in living by it, it serves me so well. It serves me so well. I was on an interview with a panel. And as I was on this interview with the panel, it just happened that I needed to move around where I was. And as I moved around, the people who were in the environment, they interact with me in a particular way all the time. I would always greet anybody and everybody, good morning, and they would greet me back. And because I would extend the greetings, most people would greet me. So even this day when I was on with the panel and I was distracted, everybody walked past and says, good morning, how you doing? I'm like, I'm very good, thank you. Oh, I've not seen you in a while, are you okay? I'm like, yes. I wanted to speak to you about such a thing. And I said to a few of them, can you please come back and let's talk about this in a while? Yeah, I'm on with something. And they were like, when I finally settled, one of the panel members were telling me, well, the fact that you are very fully engaged with your community is quite obvious from just watching you down the corridors, from hearing how people interact with you. So you said that you were a people person. Well, we've just seen it. We've just seen it. Yeah, no, I wasn't, at that point, I wasn't even thinking that I was demonstrating nothing. But you see, the norm, the ordinary, will always come back in to roost. Make sure that it serves you. Be excellent on the daily. Do it by routine. You will benefit from its effects later. Ma, how you doing? Yeah. This gospel is for you as much as it is for me. I'm going in today knowing that it is my job to be excellent, whether somebody is watching or not. And it should be something I do, particularly when no one is watching. Particularly when no one is watching. Be great, because greatness is going to be your routine. Well, you have to be at every opportunity. Take every opportunity to be great, so that you'll be well rehearsed, well practiced in your greatness, so that when people see you in your greatness, you will be fluent, and the master of your game. I'll see you on the way back.